Welcome back to Boy You Have Seen Nothing, where I take a classic film that everyone and their mother has seen and I watch it for the very first time. And this month's movie is going to be for the John Hughes classic, The Breakfast Club. Hope you enjoy. Hey, what's up, you guys? Film Fan 0599 here again, and today we're going to review The Breakfast Club. So, Breakfast Club stars Emilio Estevez, Anthony Michael Hall, Judd Nelson, Molly Ringwald, and Allison Shedley. And what this film is about, it's about these five high school students, and they all get detention, and they basically. They really don't like each other. They really don't. They're not really getting along. But then they start kind of realizing that they're kind of all the same in a lot of ways than more than they thought. So, what did I think of The Breakfast Club? Now, this is a movie that, literally, like, a lot of people talk about because it is, a lot of people say it's really relatable, and stuff. And basically every teenager on the face of the planet has seen it except me. So, I was very excited to finally sit down and watch this movie for the first time because I've heard so many great things about it. And I will say, it's exactly what it is. It's a great, kind of movie about, like, these kids who really don't like each other at first, but when they start realizing that they're more alike than they really thought, it's really great. It's more or less really just kind of a closed kind of, just movie. That's what it really is, and I love that, It's just really a character study, and that's what I really like about it. There's no, big, action set pieces or whatever, or big, epic moments. It's really just a character study about these teenagers, and that's what I loved about it the most. And it really just was great, and what made it so great is because each of them has a different personality. One of them's an athlete, one of them's a drama queen, the other is a criminal, the other's a basket case, the other is very smart, so that's what I loved about it the most. It's a great character study as well. So, let's get into my positives. Let's talk about the positives with the movie. The positives are first being the acting. The acting was really good in this movie. I thought everyone did a really great job in the film. Emilio Estevez was great. I loved him in the movie. He did such a great job in my eyes. I thought he was really great in the movie. Anthony Michael Hall was great. Judd Nelson was great as well. He was probably, he's a jerk at first, but once you start realizing more about his character, you're like, oh, I see where he's kind of coming from and why he's the way he is. And that's what I love. It's like, once you start finding out stuff about these characters, like all the problems they have in their lives, it's great, and I'll get more into that a little bit later on. But yeah, I thought Judd Nelson, honestly, I think he was the best character in the movie, to be honest. I really enjoyed him in the movie. Molly Ringwald was really good too. I really enjoyed her as well. She did a very good job. Allison Shedley, she was great too. I really enjoyed her as well. So yeah, the acting is really good. Paul Gleason, great as well. So yeah, the acting was really great in this movie. Like I said, like the way how they do these characters, like I said, it's a very great character study. That's what really this movie is a great character study of these teenagers. And it's your cliche type of characters, but however, when you start realizing more about these problems that these characters have with their lives and realizing that, they're more alike than you really think, it's great. I love that. And there's this really nice moment. It's probably, like, two of these moments in this movie were probably the best moments in this entire film. When Emilio Estevez is going off on, Allison Shedley, he's like, you lay out all your problems on the couch and everything. Tell me, what's wrong? Like, he just kind of, like, it's kind of just an emotional scene between, he's like, tell me what's wrong. And and he's like, is it your parents? And she goes, they don't listen to me. And it's just such, when you think he's gonna get angry at her, it's like, it's just an emotional, like, scene. It really is, like, it was just a great scene between the two characters, and it was definitely, this and another moment I'll talk about was, like, the best. And there's another moment where all the characters are just sitting around and they all just kind of break down. Like, it's just great. Like, I love that. It was so emotional, and it just really shows that these characters are really like more alike than you really think. You know what I mean? Sure, they have different personalities to each other, but they're dealing with the same issues and the same problems. And that's why I think where a lot of people really relate to this movie, because yeah, some people do suffer through those problems that these characters have in this movie, especially when you are a teenager or a kid and you're definitely dealing with those problems. And that's why I love the movie's very relatable as well. And, you know what I mean? It's a very relatable movie. You know, so many people do relate to this movie because of what the characters do go through in their lives. And it's just a really great character study. And I just appreciate John Hughes so much for that, for like very developing these characters very well. You know what I mean? Just some really great developed characters. That's the best thing about this movie, is that all these characters are very well developed. And the way that just some of the scenes with these characters are just so great. And that's what really makes this movie great. Because if the characters weren't great, then this movie would fail 100%. But the characters are great in this movie. And just the way that, you know, they're very well developed, and how you start learning about these characters, like stories and what they're going through in their lives, was just great. And it's definitely the best aspect of this entire movie. I can't praise it enough. You know, the soundtrack with the movie. The soundtrack's really good as well. I really like the soundtrack with the movie. It's definitely a very good soundtrack in my eyes. Very good. Really like that. The writing is fantastic. It's very well written. It's just some great writing. Definitely a brilliant screenplay. The directing by John Hughes is fantastic. John Hughes does an absolutely great job directing this movie. It's very well shot. The cinematography is really good with the movie. So yeah, I really love the directing with the film. It was just very well shot. Definitely John Hughes' directing was fantastic with this movie. I absolutely love his directing. And the movie moves at actually really good pace. Like, I was invested in this movie 100%. The movie's an hour and 37 minutes, and I couldn't take my eyes off the screen because it's just so fantastic. I absolutely loved, you know, the pacing with this movie. It was very, you know, it kept me, you know, invested in this film. It never felt boring to me. I never felt bored in this film. It was just so fantastic. I absolutely loved the pacing with this movie. It moves at a very nice, natural pace in my eyes. Now, the only negative I guess I could say with this movie is that sometimes Paul Gleason as the principal, I did really enjoy him in the movie, but there were some times where he did kind of ham it up just a little bit. It was overacting a bit too much at times. Like, there were some times where I felt like he was kind of overacting. It's just sometimes in the movie. It's really not throughout the entire film, because for the most part, he's actually really good in the movie, but there are some times where I do feel like he is kind of hamming it up and overacting at times. But besides that, I think The Breakfast Club is a very great, well-developed character story. Like, it's very well developed with these characters, and like I said, when you learn more about what these characters go through in their lives, it's very relatable, and you know, it's very understandable. Like, it's just great. I love how it's just such a fantastic character study, and that's the thing I can really praise about the movie the most. So yeah. So it's time for my official grade on The Breakfast Club, and my official grade on The Breakfast Club is an A. It's a great movie. If you haven't seen it, don't be the schluck like me. See it right away. Like, don't be like me and like wait so many years to see it. Just go see it now. It's a great character study. It's really fantastic. I absolutely loved it. Definitely deserves an A. Seriously, awesome movie. So, what did you guys think of The Breakfast Club? Leave it in the comment section below. I'm Film Fan 0599, and we'll see you all later. Peace.